Hello and welcome to BS Rugby here on YouTube. Wales kick off their summer tour as such this weekend against Canada at the Principality Stadium. Here is my preview and my predictions for the game. Of course, if you're new here, make sure to smash that subscribe button down below. It's free to do and helps grow the channel. Leave a like on the video and get your predictions and your thoughts in the comments down below. How are Wales going to do in their first match? Let's get straight into it. Let's talk about Wales, my team, our home nation. Let's talk about us. We won the Six Nations, of course. We managed to win. Somehow we got there and we won. Wayne Pivac leading Wales to an extremely unlikely Six Nations triumph after a very difficult start to his campaign. But he proved the doubters wrong. He proved me wrong, for sure. And Wales are Six Nations champions. Now, one thing we have to remember is that there is a Lions tour going on, but I love that because it gives some youngsters some opportunities. I'm going to talk about some of them in just a second. The game, of course, taking place down at the Principality Millennium Stadium with a few thousand fans in there. If you're one of the lucky ones, I hope you really enjoy, have a great time over there. And for these players, having an opportunity to play in front of a crowd again is going to be fantastic for them after such a long time. It may even feel as if it's nearly full with the amount of noise I expect the fans to make. We'll get into the teams in just a second, but let's talk about some uncapped players who are going to have an opportunity to play, hopefully, this weekend. Let's go through them. First of all, we have Ben Carter, who's a lock for the Dragons. He'll be starting at 4 for Wales this weekend, so keep an eye out on him. Someone I'm very excited to see, Ben Thomas, can play fly half, can probably play in the centre, and certainly can play at fullback. He plays for the Cardiff Blues, and do you know what? Whenever I've seen him play, I've been really impressed from him. My good friend Ben from Rock and Roll Rugby absolutely loves the guy, and I can see why. He's a real talent coming through. He starts on the bench. Tame Basham, a lot of people know about him. He's been around for a while, a few injuries here and there. He starts on the bench. He can play across the back row for the Dragons. Really excited to see how he goes. A bit of an unknown quantity in Gareth Thomas from the Ospreys from my team. He is on the bench. Not someone you'd have thought would have been included in this squad, but he is. He starts on the bench. And Tom Rogers, the Scarlets winger, the 22-year-old, starts at 11 on the wing, playing for the Scarlets, of course. So those are the youngsters to keep an eye out on, uncapped so far. So do keep your eyes on them. We wish them best of luck, of course. What a day it will be for them and their families. So how do Wales line up? Well, this is how they line up to take on the Canadians. Kick-off at 3 o'clock, of course. I'll do a match reaction after the game. Starting with the fullbacks then, we'll talk about this man in just a second. Lee Halfpenny starts at fullback, extremely experienced, one of the most experienced players in the squad, of course, and he starts out fullback with Jonah Holmes on the wing. Now, Jonah Holmes is an interesting one. I had my doubts about him, but do you know what? He's come on leaps and bounds, and I've been really impressed by him. Willis Halaholo starts with Jonathan Davis. Halaholo, I thought, a fantastic Six Nations, and I'm excited to see him start from the off. Jonathan Davis needs to recapture that form, but he is captain for the day, and again, an extremely experienced player it would really hurt him to miss out on the line, so hopefully he can bring that to the field. As I said, Tom Rogers starts on the wing for Wales for the first time, his first cap. So we're excited to see how he goes. Sheedy gets the nod at 10 with Thomas Williams. It's a very attacking halfback pairing. So excited to see how they get on. If we then take a look at the forwards, Nicky Smith plays alongside Elliot Dee and Dylan Lewis. That may be the future front row for Wales right there. So good to see them playing together. Of course, we spoke about Ben Carter. He starts alongside Will Rowland. So there's a Dragons partnership there as Will Rowland has joined the Dragons now from Wasps. Ross Moriarty, James Botham and Aaron Wainwright complete the back row. James Botham really impressed me during the Six Nations and when he did play. And so I'm keen to see how he gets on. And Wainwright back into the fold. Really happy to see him back there. Was unsure as why he was dropped recently, but happy to see that he's back there anyway. But we've got to talk about this man. We've got to talk about him, Lee Halfpenny. This will be his 97th cap for Wales, but he's also got 3 caps for the British and Irish Lions, which gives him 100 test appearances. What a fantastic record. He may not be at the peak of his powers anymore, but as a goal kicker, as a player, and do you know what? He puts his heart on the line every time. He plays 100% every single time. He's had his injury issues. He's been to France. He's come back. But what a servant he's been to the game. And do you know what? What an achievement for him. And really excited to see him put the Welsh on. And I think the big thing for these Wales players is there won't be that much pressure. We will beat Canada. I'll give you my prediction now. We will beat them, but it's just a chance to go out and play. And hopefully, I think the lineup is very attacking. Hopefully, we will see that from them. So congratulations to Lee Halfpenny. Now, some interesting connections we have with Canada is this man, Rob Howley. He is part of the coaching setup with Canada. Of course, his time with Wales came to an end in disappointing fashion after the betting scandal involving him, but he's had some help. He's sorted things out. He's spoken about his struggles with grief that led to his gambling addiction, but he's spoken about that, and he is involved with the Canada setup. Now, the Canada team, we're being totally honest, aren't where they used to be. Last time we saw them play at decent level was at the 2019 Rugby World Cup, where they finished bottom of the group. In fact, Italy put nearly 50 points past them, which was a real shock to many people. And a lot of their players actually play in Major League Rugby now, play for Toronto Arrows, play for different teams across the States. So their level is not going to be at ours, but it's a big game for them. It's an opportunity for them to play against a tier 1 nation. Now, they haven't announced their starting 15, but they have announced the roster or the squad for the match day. So this is who they have picked. We start with the forwards, D Justice Sears Duru, Andrew Quatrin, Jake Ilnicki and Connor Keys, alongside Josh Lawson, who's a pretty decent player himself. Regan O'Gorman, Lucas Rumble and Siaki Vikilani play in the forwards. The backs look like this: Ross Browd, Peter Nelson, Coney Lloyd, Quinn Ngawati, Ben Lesage, Cole Davis, Cooper Coates, as well as the reserves looking like this: Eric Howard, Cole Keith, Sussex NB, Tyler Rowland, Donald Carson, Robbie Povey, William Pursler, Lucas Albornoz, and Michael Smith. So that's how they have decided to go, the Canadians. Now, what can we expect from Canada? Well, if we're going off anything from the 2019 Rugby World Cup, not too much. But I really believe they're in a rebuilding phase, and we have to take that into consideration. But from a Wales fan, I expect us to win this one and win this one comfortably. And I also expect to see the changes coming in throughout the game. I expect to see changes at half time even, potentially. You know, if you're looking at that bench, Ryan Elias, you'd like to see him given a go. Of course, Thomas, Leon Brown's on the bench, Josh Turnbull being a fantastic servant for Cardiff Blues and finally getting the recognition that I believe he deserves. Tame Basham, Kieran Hardy had a very good Six Nations. Ben Thomas from the Blues has been really an exciting player. And well, Tompkins at Savvy's at the minute. Is there a move back to Wales for him? I'm not too sure. But going forward, he's a very exciting player. But does he really have the capability defensively? I'm not too sure, but I don't think that'll be too much of an issue in this game. So what are my predictions for this one? I expect us to win, but I'm not too concerned about the scoreline, if I'm being totally honest. Yes, it'd be nice to get the win comfortably, but it's more about giving some youngsters some chances, trying different things out, trying different partnerships and seeing what works. It'll give Pivac a lot to think about ahead of a World Cup in 2 years, but also ahead of autumn games coming up. We have New Zealand coming to the Principality and next year's Six Nations as well. He'll want to build upon the success that he's already had and really implement his style. Don't quite think we've seen that to the level that he would want yet. But there we go. I'm going to say Wales to win by 15 to 20 points. If you're Canadian, let me know about your team in the comments down below. Keen to learn about your side. Let me know who I should keep an eye out on. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. Are you excited for this game? There will be a Lions preview out on the channel very shortly, so make sure to check that one out as well. There'll be reactions to both games live on the channel after the game, so do join us for them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Have a brilliant day, and I'll see you soon.